so you can try out your builds.
You will perish. Everyone has a place.
Insane, bro. UVH5, no bleed, hitting headshots, crit knife isn't even needed. Let's see how this build is without anything. I'm not gonna pop a heal. I'm not gonna pop my alt. I'm literally just not even gonna do anything. Let's just see the raw damage. Oh my god. Like, dude, this is literally with no buffs at all. Just literally shooting my gun. Oh my god, bro. No knife. No action skill. No heal. Just shooting the bullets, bro. So first off, after playing with a bunch of builds, I do think that this is, at least what I've played with for sure, the strongest like weapon, just raw weapon based build in the game, and especially with Vex. And huge shout out to Nick2, because he brought to my attention synergy with the Bod shotgun and the Siren class mod Undead Eye. So you want to farm for an Undead Eye, which I'm farming for right here with Vile Lictor, and then the Bod is farmed from Axmal boss, I believe. So those are the two things that make this build. Technically, you don't even need the Armored Bod. You could use some sort of shotgun, but you do need this because this is what ramps up the damage for Bloodshot, which is the basis behind the build. Other things that help the build a lot are Timekeeper Shield, which you farm from Timekeeper, because it like essentially doubles your max HP. And then as far as heals go, you could run really anything within rage if you're doing bossing. So this is my bossing one. I run the War Paint with Enrage on it, and if I'm doing mobbing, I run the triple bypass. I don't have one with Enrage yet, so for now I'm just using Leech. I'm actually not sure if the Leech works in with the Blood is Power perk in the skill tree. But yeah, that's what you need. So you need an Armored Bod. Ideally, you want this to be kinetic damage. And the reason is this counts for every single gun type. So any bonuses on like your enhancement. So like this enhancement here is a dataless enhancement, which is giving me extra damage when I reload. This is a dataless weapon, and this shotgun damage, this sniper rifle crit damage, and this magazine size, this shotgun takes advantage of all of those. So this is getting the mag size, the sniper damage, and the shotgun damage, because there are builds that you can do with this with a sniper with Bloodshot, which has been a thing for for a while. But the fact that Armored Bod can accept any mods on enhancements or any pieces of gear is actually really nice. So like ideally I would want this instead of damage reduction. I would want like another type of gun damage or something, but this sniper rifle damage actually buffs this shotgun as well. So I think this thing is just by far the best option for this type of build. And the build is taking advantage of Bloodshot. So what you want to do is when you're farming for your Undead Eye, you want to have as many points of Bloodshot as possible. If you get a perfect roll, you'll have a 10 out of 5 Bloodshot here, which is 100% of my current health. But right now I only have an 8 out of 5, so I get 80%. As far as the skill tree, the most important thing is to work down here and get Bloodshot. But another thing I like about this build, one, there's no bleed. It's not abusing any sort of bleed. Bleed is currently broken at the time of recording this. So this is what, September 24th. But bleed is currently broken, and that was a cool thing when I saw that Nick had posted something about this, which was I think the middle of September, because I put this build together before, oh my bad, before I went to a wedding. He talked about how like it doesn't use bleed or anything, because at first I heard Bloodshot and I was like, oh, it's just another bleed build. But no, Bloodshot is not a bleed build. It's working very differently. It's converting all of your damage to kinetic damage based off of your current health. So it's basically giving you like a huge flat damage bonus to all of your weapon damage. But with this, killing an enemy with a sniper will trigger Bloodshot. So on any kill, you're triggering Bloodshot. And when you're critting, there's a chance to trigger Bloodshot. And another reason I really like this gun, once again, shout out to Nick for the recommendation on the Armored Bod, is because it's a shotgun, so it's shooting pellets. So each of those pellets, there's a lot of projectiles. And I'm pretty sure those projectiles each have their own individual chance of proccing Bloodshot. So another reason I just think the Armored Bod is the absolute goat here. But I'm grabbing Leech at the top, Leeching Attunement. Because down here at the bottom, we're grabbing Essence Leech, and we're also grabbing Blood is Power to give us bonus kinetic damage on our lifesteal. You could also grab Grave Sights up here. You technically don't need Target Prescience. You could swap these 5 out for Grave Sights. You could also put some points into Fiendish Invigoration if you want some rate of fire. There's a lot of options. You don't really need this either, but I think this is one of the strongest things in the game, so I would always have this on because you're just, you know, any kill skills that you have are being juiced way the fuck up. You want to get your points to come down to here. I think Drink Full is a no-brainer because this is just increasing your fire rate, which means more chances for crits, which means more damage, which means more procs of Bloodshot, etc, etc, etc. Anytime you're dealing with crit or crit chance, fire rate is always really nice, which is why this would be really nice too. I mean, I would probably, if I would change anything, I would probably take all 5 off of Target Prescience and maybe put like 1 or 2 into this and then the rest into this. So you could do like a 3-2 here or something like that. Split it up a little bit. Then you want to grab Mortal Terror. So anytime you're critting, which is what we've been talking about, you're proccing your kill skills. And then we have, like I said, Target Prescience here, so that any time I shoot any sort of these projectiles out from the shotgun, I have a chance to crit, thus proccing Mortal Terror, thus proccing my... So it's like a variation on like the kill skill build, which is... Kill skill builds is basically what I've been running since Borderlands 4 drop. You could also run Keen Mind because Bloodshot counts as an action skill, or I'm sorry, a skill damage, which is why Arcana is buffing the Bloodshot. You could also go over here and put these 5 points into Vitality if you wanted some more health, because Bloodshot scales off of health. You could take all the points out of Drink Full and put them into Keen Mind to give your Bloodshot a chance to crit. There's so many different ways that you can build this build. Like, what I have here might be different from what Nick has, what might be different from what someone else has that's running this with a sniper. You know, it's really whatever your preference is. I just have this because I like the way that this is set up, because the survivability on this build is insane, and this setup here is really good for both mobbing and bossing. And then I just have 1 point into this to keep our health at full, which I'll explain here in a second, because that's another kill skill that's going to be proccing with all these crits. And then I have another point here so that I can keep my what's it called, incarnate up longer if there's like multiple phases in a boss fight or whatever. But honestly, you don't even really need this because I think this is the strongest weapon build in the game and you're just nuking everything, so this is kind of irrelevant as far as I'm concerned. So that's the skill tree. In terms of specialization, I think the most important thing, I put the kill skill to restore 4% of my health. You could put 2 points into it to get 8%. I think best defense is insane. That's just free 30% damage. I'm also doing damage reduction. Bullets are scared of me. 30% damage reduction and 30% damage when full. So we're putting both of these over there. And then you always want to have Riddle You This. Riddle You This is just stacking gun damage as you're dealing gun damage. So I think this is like, this would probably be number 1 most important. And then this number 2 and 3. And then I'm just a few points away. Ideally, the next thing I would want is 1 point into Daredevil and then 1 point into Now with Caffeine. Now with Caffeine just makes it really easy to keep uptime on your action skill because it's 25% cooldown reduction every time you pop a skill. And I think that's pretty much it. The build is very simple: point and shoot. This build will not get adjusted. It's not exploiting anything. There's nothing broken in the build. There's no bleed. Nothing is incorrectly operating. It's just a very, very, very good build. Oh yeah, and firmware. I like Deadeye. I think Deadeye on any crit build is a must-have, really on any build. And then in terms of the second one, I've bounced back and forth between high caliber and what is it? Bullets. I forget what it's called. The one that gives you fire rate and magazine size. The fire rate is only 5% though. I think if it was like 25%, I'd probably run it over the gun damage. But I think the raw 10% gun damage is really nice. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Best gun build in the game. Once again, shout out to Mr. Nick 2 for the idea for the Armored Bod and the Undead Eye synergy. And have fun.